Have you ever been friend zoned and you're just too damn blind to see it? Or maybe your ego won't let you accept it. But what if I told you that you might be auditioning for a role that they've already cast you in? The emotional support buddy. Let me translate that for you. You've been friend zoned, my friend. And the craziest part is that you know it. You feel it. You just keep hoping that you're wrong. You keep replaying their mixed signals, the long texts, the laughs, the "you're such a great person" lines, thinking that it means something more. But it doesn't. You're the person that they vent to about the one they actually want. I know that stings, but pain's not the enemy. Denial is. Because the longer that you pretend that they might change, the more you're training them to treat you like an option. So today, we're gonna fix that. My name is Velasco, and in this channel, I give you raw, no BS relationship advice. Now, I'm not a licensed or certified therapist or psychologist. I just speak from personal experience and from hundreds, if not thousands of conversations that I've had with people who have experienced all sorts of relationship adversity. I myself have been cheated on multiple times and had to overcome heartbreaks with dignity. But today, I'm going to help you stop mistaking attention for affection, help you stop giving loyalty where it's not earned, so you can start walking away with your dignity, because being friend zoned isn't the problem. You staying there is. Let's start by saying this. Being friend zoned, it doesn't happen because you're not attractive enough, funny enough, or successful enough. It happens because you're giving boyfriend or girlfriend energy to someone who's only giving you buddy energy back. You're out here being emotionally available to someone who's emotionally unavailable. You catch my drift? You're trying to build a future with someone who only wants, a convenient present, right? And you keep telling yourself, well, maybe if I'm patient, maybe if I show them how loyal I am, maybe if I prove I care. Stop. You're not proving, loyalty. You're proving that you'll tolerate being undervalued. Listen, if someone truly wanted you, they'd remove confusion. When someone values you, there's only clarity, not chaos. Now, let me talk about 3 signs, because sometimes you're not confused. You're just ignoring the damn obvious. So, sign number 1, they talk to you about other people that they like. And you sit there like, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. No, you're not. You're dying inside when you hear that. Pretending to be an understanding friend, secretly hoping that those relationships fail so they'll finally choose you. And all you're doing is causing an emotional self-harm. Every time that you listen to them, gush about someone else, you chip away at your own self-respect. They're showing you where you stand. They're not hiding it. It's just you. You're refusing to believe it. Sign number 2, they only show up when it benefits them. Now, you're the therapist when they're sad, right? The cheerleader when they're insecure, the comedian when they're bored. But when you need something, crickets. Understand that real interest is consistent, not convenient. And sign number 3, you're doing all the initiating. You're always the first to text, the first to ask to hang out, the first to keep the connection alive. You know what that means? It means that you're the only one trying. And any relationship where one person is carrying all the weight, well, it will eventually collapse. And usually it collapses right on the person who carried the most. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Raf, what if they're just shy? No. If someone truly wants you, they'll find a way to show it. Shy people, they still make an effort, right? They still make an effort even though they're shy. They might move slower, but they move. You can't confuse lack of interest with lack of confidence. See, the friend zone is like quicksand. The more you struggle to get out by trying to prove your worth, well, the deeper that you sink. Because effort is not the problem. Direction is. You're investing in someone who's already made it clear that you're not the choice. And here's something some of you need to learn the hard way. Just because there's chemistry, it doesn't mean that there's commitment. You've got to recognize the difference between being liked and being wanted. Now, let's talk about dignity, because that's what's really on the line here. Dignity, it means walking away when you know it's time, even though your heart wants to stay. Look, if someone says they just want to be friends with you, believe them. Don't try to read between the lines. Don't try to interpret emojis like they're, hieroglyphics. If they wanted you, you'd know. It's that simple. The truth is, the more time that you spend trying to convince someone to love you, the less time you have to attract someone who actually will. Now, before I go deeper into how to walk away with your head held high, real quick, if you're enjoying this video and you want daily motivation that doesn't always make it here on YouTube, then follow me on Instagram. You know, I post relationship advice and faith content every single day. You know, the kind that keeps your mind, sharp and your standards high. The link to my Instagram, well, it's on the description down below. I'm also going to leave it on the pinned comment down below as well. But, all right, let's keep going. So let's talk about how to actually walk away, because you can't heal while you're still holding on to hope. First, you got to cut off unnecessary contact. Now, notice how I didn't say all contact. I said cut off unnecessary contact. You don't need to ghost or be disrespectful, but you do need to stop being available 24/7. If they reach out to talk about, another crush, that's your cue to protect your peace. And don't be afraid of the silence that come after. Silence isn't rejection. It's recovery. Next, redirect your energy. Hit the gym, read, travel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on Instagram, because when you're too busy becoming the best version of yourself, you stop obsessing over people who couldn't recognize your worth in the first place. Confidence, well, it isn't built by being chosen. It's built by choosing yourself. And lastly, remember who you were before you met them, because sometimes, we get so lost in trying to, be someone's everything that we forget how, complete we already were. God doesn't design you to be someone's backup plan. He designed you to be someone's answered prayer. But if you keep, selling for the friend zone, you're blocking the blessing that's trying to reach you. And listen, if you're watching this right now and you're realizing, yeah, I've been friend zoned, don't feel embarrassed. Feel liberated, because you've just gained back your power. You've just ended a one-sided contract that you never ever should have signed. Now you get to reinvest that energy into people, projects, and passions that actually pour back into you. Now, let me wrap it up like this. Being friend zone isn't the end of your story. It's the start of your awakening. Stop giving commitment to people who only offer convenience. Stop wasting years waiting to be chosen by someone who's already shown you that they won't. So from this moment on, raise your standard. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. If you have to beg for effort, it's not love. And if someone tells you that they only see you as a friend, stop acting like you're their future. For the love of God, stop it. Walk away with your head held high, because you found yourself again. You don't need anyone's validation to shine. Start chasing purpose and watch how quickly your peace multiplies. If this video hit deep, please share it with someone who needs this reminder. Also, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, walking away from someone who friend zoned you isn't weakness. It's wisdom. And wisdom, my friend, looks damn good on you.